Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Don Chamberlain, and I'll be your host tonight. We have with us tonight Mr. Donald Culp from Columbus, Ohio. Say hi, Don.
Hello, everybody.
And Mr. Michael Lewis from Houston, Texas.
Howdy, howdy. I'm in the garden cages over here.
Dan around any place, or is he pooping out on us tonight?
You just brought me a cup of coffee, so she's definitely around here somewhere.
Okay. And, of course, back to Brooklyn, where you have me in my gas station grain elevator. So, first off, we have to apologize. Due to circumstances beyond our control, the person who was going to teach tonight can't get in. He's having problems with his computer. So we're just going to have a little discussion here for a little while, and then we'll call it a night. And so one of the things I thought I'd start with was one of the things Alan was going over was, let's see here. Here we go. This is one of the verses that he was going over, and I thought it was so great. This word here, to, unto, and unto, is the Greek word eis, E-I-S. Here, let me bring it up for you so you can see it. And see, Alan learned all this stuff from a seminar taught by John Lennon. I'm listening to it right now. And this is one of the things he brought up, this Greek word, and how often this word appears over 100 times in the book of Romans alone. And that's a lot for any word. This is a preposition. And it means to travel the entire length of a vector. Now, a vector is, if you're traveling down Highway 29 and you get to County Road 16, and that's where you're headed, the point where they meet is called the vector. So as you're traveling down Highway 29, you get to that county road, and that is the Greek word eis, to go the entire length of the vector. In other words, there's another Greek word. It's the Greek word pros, P-R-O-S, and it means to travel in the direction of. It doesn't make it clear whether you got there or not. It's just you're traveling in that direction. So that's the difference between, and it appears 3 times in this one verse, which is very unusual. You don't usually get the same preposition appearing 3 times in a single verse. When it does, it means it's pointing out that this is a very important verse. And it says, "Know ye not that to whom you yield yourselves servants to," and that's the Greek word eis, "to obey his servants ye are, to whom you obey, whether of sin or of obedience unto righteousness." And that word unto is the Greek word eis. This word unto is the Greek word eis. And this word to is the Greek word eis. It's very unusual for one preposition to appear 3 times in a verse. No extra charge for that. Just thought I'd throw that in there.
What verse is that, Donald?
We run across, oh, that's Romans 6:16. Yeah, Romans 6:16. That's the King James Version.
I have a little thing here that depicts some of these prepositions. Really cool. And as you said, this EIS that is not only following the full length of a vector, but it's a vector has a standard position and a terminating point, as opposed to just a scalar where there's just a number with no direction. And it's the way it's used is so cool because it's coming all the way into the realm or the sphere of traveling the whole distance into the sphere of whatever that object is. In this case, in the ones that you gave God, I believe it was obeying God. Wasn't that the context?
Yeah, that's the context there.
So we're supposed to all get to the point to where we obey God. That's believing. That's faith. Trusting Him enough to say, "Yep, I've done it my way. Now I'm going to do it."
Oh. Yeah, it's great. All these little things you run into in the Word.
Oh yeah, totally awesome.
Yeah, all of those prepositions are geometric in their understanding. Mathematical exactness, scientific precision.
Yeah. I never heard that. Never heard that one before.
Never heard that one. Yeah, I was going through my retemeries, my memory verses this week, brushing up on some of these, and some of these we know so well, but when you go over them again and they start parsing the words, it's really kind of cool. Like I was reading in 2 Timothy 1, verse 7, says, "For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." It says He didn't give us what? He didn't give us the spirit of fear. There must be a spirit of fear. And He didn't give it to us. But of power. The spirit that we have is powerful, it's of love, and it's a sound mind.
You know, neat thing, power, love, and a sound mind are all nouns. And a noun is just a thing that you can put into your pocket, you know. And it's like having 3 quarters. If you don't ever pull those quarters out of your pocket and buy something, they're really no use to you. It's when you pull them out and change them from nouns into verbs. That's where that's the goal for us, to turn those nouns into verbs.
Yep, and I'll bet you if you look up that word power, it's the word dunamis, which is potential power.
Right.
That's exactly right.
Instead of exousia.
Yep. And that's what we want to turn it into, exousia, exercise power.
Yep, and we can't power, and it's kia, in love, and in self-control is that sound mind, that wholeness, that it's really cool because it's part of that sequence of words.
Oh, yeah.
The only real whole mind there is, or disciplined mind, is one that knows the whole truth, like Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
The first Adam, everything got all jacked up and broken apart and confused. And in the second Adam, we have wholeness and soundness in our relationship with God. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
It says in the definition under the help study, in Biblioso, it says, acting out God's will by doing what he calls sound reasoning. I love that. It's the only reasonable response is God, truth.
Yeah.
Sound reasoning. So fair on.
In other words, we're supposed to use our minds that God created and reason things out.
Yeah. And without the Spirit of God, that has never been available since the first Adam. Unless God put his Spirit on mankind in the Hebrew Scriptures, and then the seed that he put within us in the Christian Scriptures. Totally awesome. This thing, the more you dig, the more awesome it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really something too, because that means available to the Old Testament believer, because it has to be spiritually discerned.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and, they just didn't have that ability.
Yeah, and that goes right into the next memory verse. 1 Corinthians 2:12. 1 Corinthians 2:12, which says, "Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit which is of God, that we might know the things that are freely given to us of God."
yeah, that's cool that the pneumas in both of those, because they're describing
Testing.
the life we.
Hello, Alan.
Hey, Alan, you showed up.
I made it back on the internet.
Well, Alan, it's not that late. You want to do your teaching?
Yeah, that'd be fine. It'll be brief anyway, so I'm sure.
That's cool. Mike's going to run the scriptures for you.
Okay.
It's interesting, Alan. There's a lot of stuff you brought up right at the beginning. That's what we've been just before you got here. We were talking about all of it.
Really?
About
So you did my teaching without me then.
No, we were mostly in Timothy. And we were talking about how, they couldn't discern all this stuff in the Old Testament because of the lack of spirit. And you had to get into, the book of Romans before you got that. And then we were talking about some stuff in Timothy about how God hasn't given us the spirit of fear, but of power and love and of a sound mind, and how power, love, and sound mind are all nouns that you want to turn into verbs. Just a lot of little interesting stuff like that, all tied in. And then today, on Facebook, I posted Romans 8:35 through 39, and then I mentioned the fact that 9, 10, and 11 are parentheses. So I told them the context actually goes from "for nothing shall be able to separate us from the love of God," that whole section, straight to "I beseech you, therefore, now, my brethren, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bond, entangled with."
Be not conformed to this world, this age.
To this world, right? Yeah. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. I get those two verses.
I actually wanted to start with Romans 12:1 and 2 at this teaching and then go back. I don't know why I didn't, but I wanted to.
Maybe it was best you didn't.
Yeah, because that Romans 12:1 and 2 it's like a summary of this doctrine of the book of Romans from 5:12 through the end of chapter 8. It's like a summary of this Romans 5:12 through the end of chapter 8 is like an expansion of Romans 12:1 and 2. You know, the first three words, I beseech you, therefore, brethren. What is the therefore? It's referring back to this doctrine of the book of Romans, specifically to the saint.
What is the
Cool how this
Right.
fits together like that. And when you take this, I'm supposed to be on break. When you take this doctrine of the book of Romans and practice it every day, moment by moment, daily, when you practice it, then you become transformed. Then you become transformed. That's how you become. It's putting this doctrine. It's like a baseball. A father worked with this earlier today, and I'm thinking about this. A professional baseball player. You know, he's got a game coming up, about 3 or 4 weeks away. Do you suppose he sits in his easy chair and drinks a beer every day and watches TV till the game comes? No, he's out there. He's practicing. He's like a pitcher. He's practicing his pitches every day. The batter, he practices it. He practices and practices and practices. So when that game comes, he's ready. He's ready for it. You know, that's probably a poor analogy, but we're dealing with life itself. And the more that you put this into practice, that I'm just about to read to you here in chapter 6, when you put it into practice daily, thinking about it, you know, putting it on that and allowing it to become real, that's when you become transformed. It becomes real. It's like the real game is coming. Anyway, I kind of felt like I taught the same thing as I did last week.
I enjoyed it, Alan. You don't hear my enthusiasm very much when I'm sick, just fair warning.
Oh, sweetie, you're not feeling very well?
No, I didn't even think I was going to make it tonight, but I thought that, you know, I'm sitting up. I shall be on my computer.
You're a sweetheart for making the effort.
I love your greeting, by the way, too. I'll get on. I know you give it to everybody, but that's what I love about it, is like you have such a great greeting to everybody. Like, hey, God bless you.
Incidentally, I watched the Avengers again today, Alan, and your rerun was much better than theirs.
That's good. Man, see, I hate being sick because, like, I had thoughts, like, I had some thoughts and comments, but of course I just totally forgot them. Like, they're supposed to be fun. They're supposed to be fun little comments, too.
What I was trying to do during that teaching, every now and again when you said you lost me, is you was quoting almost irrevocably out of Bullinger, and I had that companion Bible pulled up, and I was actually trying to get your attention to the companion Bible, because when you were going through some of this stuff, even at the beginning of Romans with the breakdown, I brought this up here because it so vividly illustrates what you were saying, and that's why I pulled that up there for a minute, and then when you coaxed me...
I didn't see that. If I'd have said that, if I'd have seen that, I probably would have elaborated. Yeah, that's cool, because that's where I started realizing this old nature thing was studying through some of Bullinger's.
Yeah, I realized it when you were doing it. That's why I pulled it up. So, come see, come saw.
I try not to elevate these guys, you know, Bullinger and all of those. too
But-
much. I try to make it to where I want to make this word my own. You know, Bullinger's been kind of like a training wheels for me.
Yeah, but he's got some bad graphs, boy. He's got some.
Oh yeah, look at this. Yeah, look at that right there.
He's actually pulling this all up. I want to show you one more. Wait a minute, let me get down to it because Romans 5, it was really cute. It's on my second screen, and as you're going through it, I'm watching this second, or no, yeah, 6. Beginning of 6, right here. Look at this. Goes 5. Isn't that beautiful?
Wow. I haven't seen. Let me see that again. Wait a minute. Okay. Let me look at that. Wow.
You've committed so much of it to memory that you're literally quoting it.
Wow. Look at that.
Cute, huh? Then you got one in here for 6. You got into 6 and started in it.
You know, you could look at this from a legal point of view. I wish we had an attorney who understood law and stuff, because I wanted to teach in light of a legal perspective, but I don't have a background in law, and to look at how intricately legal is so legal is absolutely fabulous. But I can't express it because I don't have because I don't have much of a background in law, and I haven't studied the Old Testament law in detail, because if you study the Old Testament law in detail, this one section in 5:12 through 21 really comes alive from a legal point of view. You know, it's like God is a judge making like a decree or a legal statement in a court of law, and he's I don't know the words for it. See, that's the problem. I don't have a legal the vocabulary of an attorney to say this, but from a legal point of view, this section there is absolutely fabulous. And I can honestly say that God Almighty is a righteous judge. He makes this statement from 5:12 through 21 absolutely fabulous.
Hi, Sandra.
Hi.
Hi, Sandra.
Thank
Well,
you.
I don't see it.
Yank.
Thank you.
What's up?
Thanks for your.
Oh, yeah, Sandra, there you go. I don't see your picture, though.
No,
Hi, Sandra. God bless you, gal.
my special power is I'm invisible. Thanks for the links, Don. Can you hear me?
You're very quiet. Very like your volume is very low. But we can hear you.
Okay. I have a fan right by the computer.
Yeah, back up one. Where was that? Those who would accuse. Yeah, you're in chapter 8, aren't you? Yeah. Oh, these are the questions. These are the questions I was talking about. Boy, I'd love to get to that spot in chapter 8. You know, he makes he does these questions before he makes that conclusion, and that's that figure, erotasis, interrogation. He poses those questions, and who can accuse God's chosen one? Because it was God, the righteous judge, who made this particular decree, and nobody can say anything against it because God made the decree legally. I get goosebumps thinking about it, but I don't have that legal background, a legal vocabulary to express it. Who can condemn? Who can separate us from the love of God? Which is just who can do that? Yeah, that's fantastic, isn't it?
Wait,
I love this book of Romans.
Woody.
Oh, yeah, that was something else, Michael. Do you know much about this word also? It seems out of place, and I have begun to notice it.
I actually have a Bible that I went through and corrected all the alsos in it.
Now, why is it out of place like that in so many places?
Because of the English language. In the Hebrew, that word, or the Greek, that word is an emphasizing point. In other words, it's telling you where you came from, but putting emphasis on where you are.
Yeah, because when you read a verse with that word also, it loses that emphasis, it seems like, when it's in the wrong place.
Right.
And there's a study that Bollinger did called also. You can look it up, probably find it at
I've tried to
someplace.
find it. I couldn't find
Look
it.
at Don Cope, guys. Wake up.
Yeah, Don Cope's got it.
There it is, right there. Don, there's your assignment. Teach on also sometime.
I can do that.
He's always got these things that I'm so far behind on, I'm embarrassed.
It's basically the difference between how it's used in the Greek versus how it's used in the English. And when they translated it from the Greek into the English, they didn't keep it all the same because it doesn't really matter in the English, but it matters in the Greek. Sometimes they put it before the word they want to emphasize, and sometimes they put it after.
That's crazy calculus stuff for me right now. I mean, I'm so interested in that kind of stuff, but like sometimes if I try to like get too into it, my brain starts like shutting down on me. So
well, see, it's little things like this that has made like the book of Romans confusing and difficult to read sometimes. It's little things like that.
Yeah.
It's those kind of things that you, like a teaching, maybe I can use that as my topic, and we'll break it down and make it real simple and give us a bunch of examples. That'd be good.
I think one of the things that really, you know, you were reading through justification there, one of the things that began to make clear this book of Romans is understanding that the word justification and righteousness, they're interchangeable. Yeah, and if you translate it as righteous or righteousness, then it becomes clear. Because I've always been confused with the word justification and the word righteousness. You know, in our English, in our modern English, you know, there is a distinction between the two words, but there was not a distinction when it was written. Yeah, there's the appendices. Yeah, there we go. If you're looking for that also thing, it is not in the appendices. I've looked. I have looked. And it's a wonder that it's not.
I thought there was a righteousness in here. I guess there's not that either.
Well, I'm kind of exhausted. We could probably go ahead and close out if you'd like, unless there's something anyone wants to talk about. Oh yeah, I should also mention again that I do have a longing
Oh,
to,
You
huh?
just used the word also.
I want to get serious about practice sessions. You know, I had mentioned in a fellowship before about maybe starting a new TLTF fellowship, and I have considered uh, doing something like that specifically for as a workshop, practicing manifestations.
it might be better to do it on Google Plus, Alan.
Yeah. Well, why is that?
Because of the communication format. When there's a whole bunch of people involved, like we are now.
Well, yeah. Just something to think about because you can't call in on Google Plus. I mean on Google Hangouts, but you can call in on the WebEx. So it's just something to think about. Anyway. But it's not going to be within the next couple of weeks because I'm going to kind of relax a bit. I get too intense and need to kind of slack off a while because I don't know how to explain. But what happens? See, once you learn the truth, you're studying the Bible and you learn the truth, you become responsible for it. And I'm trying to get too much at one time lately, and I need to just kind of let it kind of soak in, I guess. How would I put that in words? I don't know. Anyway, lost my train of thought. I'm tired. Can you tell? Over these past few weeks, I've had this longing for manifestations. I'm not getting enough of it. I'm addicted. I am obsessed with manifestations. Which is a good thing, right? That's all part of this new life.
Yeah.
Manifestation. I keep it up, I'm going to wind up turning water into wine or walking on water, feeding 5,000, curing a man that was born blind, raising a man who'd been dead 4 days. I guess we need that today, though, don't we?
Yes, we
Alan,
do.
I'm just not ready for the persecution. Isn't that terrible to think like that? I'm sorry.
Alan,
Go ahead, Michael.
Alan, if you are on and I'm on and you want to do a practice session, I'll practice with you.
Mhm.
Sounds good. I'll be taking you up on it.
Just start a hangout, invite me, and then we'll invite the rest of these guys, and whoever shows up, shows up. Whoever doesn't, they're lost.
Well, I am noticing a deficiency, and it has begun to bother me. And I didn't want to say anything to you guys because I didn't want the word to get back to where it originated. You know, a couple of years ago.
Well, I have to go. So I'm going to say
Okay,
good
Don.
night. And I love you guys, and we'll see you real soon.
Bless you, brother.
Bless you, Alan.
I'll
Bless
see
you,
you
Michael, Dana,
All right.
Sandra, Chandra. Love you guys.
We seem to have lost Michael, too. Okay, good night, Don.
Anyway.